So welcome. Oh, so I forgot that when I record, turns off everyone's cameras and it mutes you automatically. So I'll just give you a moment to turn your cameras back on. That happened at our all staff at Trellis earlier this week. Okay,
I didn't realize
thank you.
that change was coming. It's odd.
It is odd. On the one hand, I understand it.
Mhm.
It's in consent for recording, and that's important. But it is interesting start to a meeting.
Yeah,
So,
it's a little jarring.
yeah.
Right. I agree. But
Yeah.
it's good because we've had some issues where, it's like,
Mm.
oh, we can't post like community practice because you didn't get everybody's consent, blah, 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 right? So I don't know
Yeah.
if this would fix it or not for the
Yeah.
state, but yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be nice if it did.
Yes. Yes. All
We
right.
have all
Well,
those attorneys that tell us what we can and cannot do. So
and we grumble at the attorneys, but they are very helpful. They keep us out of trouble. Yes, they sometimes tell us we can't do the things we want to, but
yeah.
it's sure helpful to have them. All right. Well, welcome everyone to our May Umbrella Hub arrangement meeting. I shared the agenda out yesterday. We always like to start with a mission moment. So does anyone have any mission moments, anything that's happened in the DPP world, or it could be just be at your organization within another program that was just a nice little shining light, I guess, something good that happened.
Well, I have one.
Please go ahead, Kim.
Okay. Well, we published a story on our website about a Juniper program completer named Jane Ott, and she did the DPP with Centric Hair, and she allowed us to. Natalie got us in contact with her, and we did this story, and it's published on our webpage. And then I saw that Juniper shared it on their Facebook page because I got that on my feed one day. So I'll get you guys while we're visiting here. I'll get the link and throw it in the chat so you can see it. But yeah.
Thank you, Kim. And I'll piggyback off of that to share that we had a nurse manager from Health Fairview reach out to us
Uh-huh.
asking about referring patients to DPP through Juniper and when we have classes coming up and how to get people on the wait list.
Great.
That was exciting. Anyone else? Well, I have one more that I'll share. Back in, I think it ended up being the end of March. So it's been about a month now. Medicare did their email blast for National Diabetes Day to their members, making them aware of the diabetes prevention program. And we received quite a few phone calls from that. We have quite like a wait list of at least 8 people now for a DPP. So I've been reaching out to certain subsidiaries just because these people on the wait list, we ask them where they're interested in a class. Is it online, in person? Where do they live? What times of day, etc. So a lot of these folks are in the metro. So I've been reaching out to more of our metro partners to try to get a class scheduled to meet the demand for this wait list, but also some of our online class providers as well. That's very
That's
exciting.
great.
Yes.
Cool.
I can piggyback off of Rachel then. I forgot about that. We actually got 2 in our April cohort because of that as well. And one of them is driving an hour because there's no other providers to come to class. So it's like, oh, I wish, and she's like, yeah, there's online options. she saw them, but she's like, I want to start now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that was really cool.
Well, she's committed. That's fantastic.
Yep. And
Yeah,
then
I
she
was
just
just
does
gonna
errands.
say, are you seeing her level of investment be pretty high? I mean, I'm thinking you're putting out that much drive time. Maybe you're really, really taking this seriously and
I think
doing
so.
it. Yeah.
We've had about a month, so she's been to every
Okay.
single session. She's always been
Good.
early. She runs errands when she's here.
Good.
If everybody doesn't know, we're in Mankato. So yeah, she's totally vested in it. And I was like, that sucks that nobody else is around, but I'm glad we can serve you.
Yeah. Nice.
Absolutely. Yes, I need to remember to reach out to our CMS contact to let her know about the success of that email, because it does mean a lot to us when they do that. It's really helpful. Right, so I think we're ready to hop into our first agenda item, which is introducing our Umbrella Hub arrangement DPP Master Trainer, Jen Wunderlich. So Jen, I'd love to hand it over to you so you could explain a little bit more about your role and how everyone in the UHA can best utilize you.
Thanks, Rachel. Yes, I just finished up my training here a couple months ago. And for the UHA, if you have questions about curriculum or facilitation skills or best practices for some of those items, and then whenever I host a training, then two UHA members get a discount on that. So the rate that you see in the agenda, that's the discounted rate for the UHA members. Non-UHA members, if there's anybody in my area, I charge usually quite a bit more for that as well. And then as I end up getting coaches trained under me, then I do check-ins with them to see how they're doing. It's another contact point as well. And that's also for everybody here. If you have questions anytime with any of the facilitation or any of those things, I'm another contact level, same as Rachel and Kim at that level then too. My master trainer entity that I'm trained through is DTAC. So out at Emory University. And then if there's updates as well, because I have quarterly meetings with them, and then I have an extra newsletter sent out. They try to keep us in the loop of what's going on as well. If there's changes as CDC makes changes, probably same information that you're getting, Kim, as well. What little they do know about some things, but they're on the loop on some of those updated entities as well too.
Thank you, Jen.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then if anybody still wants to, I have room left in my training. It is the 19th and the 20th, which is Monday, Tuesday, and then the 27th and 28th, which is Tuesday, Wednesday. I know it's right around Memorial Day, but it worked. That's when I could get it into my schedule. And it's online, so you don't have to go anywhere or do anything. It's from 8:30 to 12:30, so you can start your day off talking about DPP.
Okay, there's a link for the training as well for anyone who might need it. Yes, we're very grateful to have Jen as a resource. Up until now, we have been sending people all over the place to get trained, and now we have a local resource here for the UHA to offer trainings for us, and also just be a content expert, because we have Kim, and Kim's fabulous. There's only one Kim though, so now we have Jen too. And I am not the content expert for DPP. I'm much more the process, eligibility screening, billing person. So I think it's wonderful to add Jen to the resources available to the UHA. Thank you, Jen, for taking on the responsibility of being a master trainer, because there is a degree of effort that comes with that. So thank you.
And if anybody has questions anytime, go ahead and reach out. I'll put my email in the chat as well, just in case if you don't have it.
Thank you. All right. And then any questions for Jen before we move on? I wanted to provide an update on the status of contracting with certain health plans. So I shared at I think the last UHA meeting that Medica declined to include us as an in-network provider. We learned just a few weeks ago that United Healthcare has also declined to include us as an in-network provider. So that is disappointing. We can reapply with both organizations in 2026, so we can try again in about a year. That's what they've advised us to do. Humana is interested in working with us. They want our nurse practitioners to be on the claims, so we are working with them, with Jen and with Sarah, to figure out how to have them credentialed with Humana so that we can do that. So that's the stage that we are currently at with Humana. So it's a short update about the contracts, but I'd love to have a discussion about Medica and United Healthcare specifically, because at Trellis, we've decided that we're willing to try billing for United Healthcare and Medica MDPP eligible Medicare Advantage members as an out-of-network provider, just to see what happens. That's the reason we haven't done it, is because when we have a contract with a health plan and we are an in-network provider, we know for sure what the participant can expect. And for all of the plans where we currently have a contract, we know that the participant can expect not to pay a copay, not have any co-insurance. It's a free preventative benefit. If we're out of network, there's just a degree of uncertainty that comes with that. We're just not quite sure. So we're willing to try. And so what we would love to see is, as you're starting classes, we'd love to work with you to identify any United Healthcare and Medica eligible members to see if you're comfortable with us trying to bill, if the participant's comfortable with us trying to bill. We can do a degree of research to figure out what might happen. For example, I did some research and found, trying to copy this link quick, this United Healthcare benefit summary, where it says in the benefit summary that DPP is a free preventative benefit, whether you're in network or out of network, which is not a guarantee, but it's very encouraging. So that's pretty cool. I was digging around some Medica benefit summaries earlier today, and they don't provide the same clarity. So it's a little bit unsure, but if we have someone's group number, I might be able to do more precise research to figure out what we might be looking at. Are there any questions or concerns that come to your minds immediately as we're thinking about billing as an out-of-network provider?
I'm very happy this is happening. Do you know which page that is on that United Healthcare booklet you just gave us the link
Oh,
to?
you know what? I was gonna note that and I didn't. I bet I
Okay.
can find it again quick.
All right. Okay. I'll just yak while you do it.
Yeah, they had this whole preventative benefit section, but yeah, yak away, I'll find it.
Okay. So behind the scenes, and I don't know if you folks knows, but Rachel, Lauren, Mark Cullen, Sarah, Shepard or Sarah Blonigan, and I have been meeting with our consultants with the National Association of Chronic Disease Directors, Joanna DiBenedetto, and others who have successfully not only engaged CMS on our behalf, but they're also brought in other umbrella hub arrangements that have gone through some of the stuff that we've gone through. And what we were advised is to go ahead and try this billing, because we'll eventually get their attention and then they'll go, oh, we're paying you. Why don't we have a contract with you? Right. So we're hoping that that's going to be a strategy that'll help us bring revenue in. And then the second thing that CMS is saying that they really want to do, and they were planning on doing this in April, it has not happened. but that they want to convene the Medicare Advantage plans and highlight the fact that they should and need to and are required to cover this as a benefit, and to encourage them to get their contracting going with DPP organizations. So for what it's worth, we're trying really hard. And yeah, things move slow, but my experience is they usually move.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's on page 3 under
Okay.
preventative services. And this was a real life example. We were actually looking at a MDPP eligible UHC member in a class.
Okay.
It already started a few months ago. So ultimately the leaders decided not to build just because the class had already been in progress for some time. So it didn't seem fair to the participant to be communicating at this juncture that we were going to try to be billing. But I think for a class starting out, it could be promising. It could be promising that there wouldn't be any sort of co-insurance or copay for the member.
Great.
And I think an important thing for you to know as you're considering this. Yeah, absolutely, Kim. An important thing for you to know as you're considering this is just that the way that we submit claims, it's always in batches of like 3 to 5 claims. So if we were to start doing this and trying it out, if we realize after that first batch, there's a copay, we should stop. We can stop at that juncture. We don't have to continue billing. Any other questions or thoughts? Question from Natalie in the chat. I'm just going to read it out loud for the recording. I see that they also offer diabetes screenings and monitoring. Do we know how often they can be screened? That I don't know. And I don't know, Natalie, that as a UHA, we would be qualified to offer that particular service. As within your healthcare system, you very well could be. But I don't believe as the UHA, we can do that. Yeah, Kim also added in the chat, that's probably under diabetes management, not prevention. That's probably right.
But given your profession, Natalie, I know why you're asking the question.
Yes. Sounds like a great opportunity for you, Natalie.
Yeah, I see that it was under preventive services, just in the other column,
Mhm.
diabetes screening and monitoring. So I didn't know if we could use that as like for our hemoglobin A1C for the lab result for the programming.
Possibly. I think that'd be a question for your system, Natalie, just to see if that's how they might think that would fit in to your services and coding.
I bet you're right, Natalie.
Well, even just as a motivation through when onboarding participants, just knowing what insurance companies cover hemoglobin A1C and saying, you know, this should be of no cost for you. So, you know, as just like a motivation to help get their lab work completed before starting the program.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't not that long ago where Medicare had a funky rule where they didn't cover HB, the A1C one. They covered the different, what would fasting glucose or a different one. Do you remember, Natalie, which one it was? And I think that finally got aligned and they do cover the A1Cs now.
Yeah.
All this random knowledge that, yeah, it's nuts. You guys know my famous tagline. If it wasn't a complicated program, they wouldn't need people like me to help make it happen.
And it is complicated, that is for sure. Well, and we're glad to have you, Kim. All right, speaking of gratitude for Kim, I'll just move us to the next agenda item. So the DPRP standards were re-released on the 5th, and our friend Kim, we are grateful to her. She went through and evaluated what was different, what had changed in the standards. So thank you for doing that for us, Kim. It looks like the change was the removal of the gender identity question for DPRP reporting. So we had a short connect about this within the team at Trellis, and we are not going to make any changes to our DPRP, to our survey at this time. And there's a few reasons for that. One, it's very expensive to make any changes to our survey and to our MIS. And if DPRP does not want an answer to a survey question, we can just remove it from our reporting to them. More importantly than that, we feel that the question is important to ask. It signals respect and recognition. It helps affirm people's identities and helps create a more inclusive environment. And we know, third, that while DPRP might not require this question, the gender identity question, asking it as a UHA, it just helps us ensure from a data perspective that everyone is counted and seen and served. So we can't measure equity if we're not measuring equity. So we won't be making any changes to the survey. So nothing is changing on your part. We'll do what we need to as far as finessing the data for DPRP. DPRP is open again, so we are working on getting that reporting together and submitted. And please, any questions about that change? Okay. Sounds good. So now we will hop into, oh, I'm glad to hear that you've resumed your meetings as well, Kim. That's wonderful. It's amazing how much we rely on our friends at CDC and CMS, and all the questions that come up, and you would just really miss being able to connect with them. Yeah. All right. So now we'll just move into general announcements, questions, discussion. So this is the time if you have anything that's come up for you as a hiccup in your program and you want to ask for the advice of others, you're welcome to, and also for announcements. I know Lauren has an announcement, so I'll hand it to Lauren first.
Yeah. My last day with Trellis is May 15th. So I'm transitioning out. I'm working hard to get everyone up to speed on some of the billing pieces that I've been working on, and make sure everyone knows all of the context and history. I'm hoping that won't get lost. We're going to do what we can. So.
You said it so fast. Did you say the words, my last day is?
Yes, I did. Sorry.
Okay, I'm glad I'm sitting down. Sorry to hear that.
I am transitioning
Happy for
out
you,
of
I
Trellis.
guess. What?
I said I am transitioning out of Trellis. I said it quickly because I'm nervous and this is hard. So
Yeah. It is hard. Oh, well, Lauren, thank you for all you've done.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure.
It's very hard. It's one of those situations where you're happy for Lauren, but you're sad for yourself because we rely on her so much. Has helped developed so much of our work to the point it is today, particularly our billing and setting up our relationship with our billing vendor and managing that, and her bringing to us her expertise working at UCare, which has helped us not only in our billing space, also in our contracting space, also in our strategy and how we think about how to position ourselves to payers, because Lauren's been in the payer shoes. And so she knows how they think about certain things and how that will be received. So very bittersweet, but we're very happy for Lauren and whatever adventure takes her next. And she is doing an excellent job preparing us for her transition. And if you know Lauren, she's an excellent documenter of all the things. So we have really well written out processes for all the things that she does so that we'll be able to continue without her. Although we won't be happy to do so, we will be able to do so and figure out what comes next for her position. I think I can share that we aren't planning to immediately fill Lauren's position. We're planning to wait to see what happens with our community care hub bill, since we should know about that imminently. I was telling Jen earlier today, it's as soon as May 19th, or it could take longer if there's dispute between the House and the Senate and state budgets shut down, et cetera. So it makes sense to just take a pause and see what happens with that bill and then how we want to move forward for the network. Any questions for Lauren? Oh, this funds in the Senate, but not the House yet. Yes, so the Community Care Hub bill, the full amount is in the Senate omnibus, which passed the floor vote, I think Tuesday. And the next step is conference committee, which I'm not a politics junkie, but I think that's when the House and the Senate come together to duke it
Okay.
out. Is that right? Okay, thank you. So they come together and you may have heard in the news, our Minnesota House and Senate have very different budget goals. And so that is why people are suspecting, like why I mentioned there a possible government shutdown. It has nothing to do with our bill in particular, just that they are so vastly far apart in their budget goals that we will see how quickly they can come to a collaborative decision. So our bill is not live on the House side, just the Senate. Three different budgets. Oh, you're going to test my knowledge, Kim. Governor, Senate, House, right? Yeah, there's three different ones. I think and they all have very different opinions from what I've gathered.
Yeah. So the Senate and the House have to come up with something the governor's willing to sign. I believe.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
that's a good point. I've been so focused on the House and the Senate, I forgot that the governor has to sign the thing at the end of the day.
to add another layer of complication,
Yeah.
guys. And
I'm thinking I just booked my state park trips this summer. Maybe I should have waited. Maybe they're not going to be open. Gosh darn it.
Oh.
Yeah, so we will see what happens there. Any other announcements or questions? All right, well, hearing none, I think we can wrap up early. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. It was wonderful to see you all. I'll share the recording for those that were unable to join us, as well as my best summary of the notes, so that you can, and I'll share the explanation of benefits that I found from United Healthcare and Medica, just so you can, if you're curious, you can look at those as well and kind of see what I mean about the differences between the two and their level of clarity around DPP coverage. All right, thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.